What's up, workforce? Brian here for Work to Game. I hope you're having a great day. I know I am. So let's talk about Stormblood. So as I was trying to prepare and get ready for this video, I was bouncing around a lot of ideas in my head. Ideas like what we know about Stormblood and what we don't know about Stormblood. And looking over that list, there's a lot that they've told us about the next expansion. And it's really quite exciting and yet staggering at the same time. So I looked over that list and I was like, maybe that's something I'm going to do later. But looking at it, trying to think out what I'm most excited about for the expansion, I decided to come up kind of with my top 5 list of the features that I'm most excited for. So I'm very curious as to what's been announced that you're excited for, so let me know in the comments below. So to start, the first thing I'm most excited for is the battle system revamp, is what they're calling it. Now, Yoshi-P says that it isn't a full ground-up redesign of the battle system. So at the EU FanFest, there was a kind of a press conference, and here's a quote from that from Yoshi-P regarding what the battle system revamp means. And so this is what he says. We're not going to be rebuilding it from the ground up. We're concentrating on 2 things with this revamp. During the 3-Point Axe series, the action rotation for high DPS became very complex. We saw a large gap form regarding DPS from skilled and technical players and more casual players. And so we wanted to bring up the bottom. The second thing is that with Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of players use a controller. With an increase in actions, it's hard for them to use all the actions available. There really wasn't enough ways to use these actions, so we're cutting the number of unused actions and combining similar actions to make the level 70 actions number about the same as it is now. Currently, with a lot of jobs, it's clear that jobs have to monitor a lot of buff icons. We want to create a specific UI to alleviate this and make monitoring these things easier. We're going to balance, adjust, tweak, and refine this UI right up to the release, so we probably can't show you anything until May. So what's interesting and exciting to me about this is that the cutting of unused actions and the combining them with other more useful actions. So it seems like, maybe a particular action is just not used or heavily favored. And the idea in my mind would be something like lethargy for a black mage. It's very useful. It's got slow, it's got heavy, but as a part of the black mage rotation, it just really isn't necessary. It's more on the crowd control side of it, along with sleep. Where could that be like a value? And it could be something where, let's say they want to, and this is pure speculation, introduce a spell of poison, right? Well, poison could add a dot to you. It could also make you heavy and slow. And so it's like, well, maybe we drop lethargy and we add in poison, which fits into the black mage magic pool. And that's just one idea that I had. So they're going to introduce a new action. At the same time, it's more or less replacing that. So they also talk about bringing the bottom up. And this is important because I know a lot of people were like, oh, this means that they're going to make it, they're going to make it just easy to do this high level DPS. And I think what they're actually trying to do, instead of making, the top skilled players have to, making it easier for them to be that top skilled, they're talking about making the difference between the lower skill players and that top skill players by, instead of lowering the difficulty, by giving everybody kind of like a raising tide. So a raising tide raises all ships, I guess is the expression. So where I think of this is that Yoshi-P's kind of hinted at this in the past already. That like instead of having like a Nokian fall off, just have that as you're able to do those various things, that it stacks up and stacks up. And so you get more efficient, but you don't lose that ability and thus drop into a kind of a, right now would be a 2.0 rotation as opposed to the 3.0 rotation. So I think this is important, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out going forward. Now, the last bit on, especially on the battle system, is that they're not really going to be able to show us the UI until May. I take this to also mean that they're really not going to get more details about all these changes until May, because up until that point, they're going to be just balancing, tweaking, adjusting. The thing is that even when 4.0 comes out, they're still going to continue to do that. We're going to be able to give them feedback. And they're going to be, they listen to us very well. And so we should see, further adjustments going into 4.0 as well. But all in all, my number 5 on my top 5 is just the battle system changes. Again, not a complete revamp. I know a lot of people are hoping for speed. They're hoping, like somebody was saying, like in the comments, like 0.5 second GDC. It's like, I don't know if we're going to get that or see that, but we do know that they're going to be making a lot of adjustments, and we just don't know what they are, but I'm still excited. Next up, number 4 for me, the Bend of Time Omega. I'm personally more excited about this raid than I was for Alexander, is that it felt, and so far has been feeling, that Omega has been teased. They've been teasing it since like 2.3. We had a reference to it in 3.4. There's supposedly, from the trailer, we're going to be hearing more about Omega in 3.5, 5, 6, or whatever. Just that fact, and hopefully having him tie into some part of the main scenario, I think is going to give that much more weight. Yeah, you don't have to go and complete it, just like you haven't had to complete the other raids, but just having that presence tie into it, it seems to, that's going to add, I think, a lot more weight to Omega, where especially the beginning parts of Alexander were like, what's going on? And it really wasn't until the end, in my opinion, that Alexander got interesting. So I'm hopeful that all throughout Omega, the Bend of Time, just like with, Binding Coil Bahamut, that we've got that connection and we have that excitement and we really want to learn more. And hopefully there aren't really too many Gobbies with their Gobby speak crowding it up. Anyway, but that's just my opinion. If you any Gobby fans out there, apologies. So speaking of raids, my number 3, the Alliance raid, Return to Ivalice. I love Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII and that world. This kind of ties into something I'll be talking a little bit about, is just where is this located? How does this tie in? Does this tie in at all to that, or are they just using this callback as a sense of, fan service and nostalgia? But bringing in the creator, especially of Tactics, to do the design, to talk about that story, has me so excited. So anyhow, the Alliance raid, Return to Ivalice. I'm really, really excited to see and learn more about this. We won't be, tackling it until 4.1, but hopefully 4.1 won't be that far from 4.0. Okay, so for my number 2, Red Mage. Sorry, Samurai fans out there. I'm really happy for you. Trust me, I am. But for me, I love casters. I just do. I love Black Mage. I love Summoner. And to add Red Mage into that has me excited. Can't wait to see how it plays. Can't wait to see how it feels. Obviously, I don't know if it's something that's going to, replace Summoner for me, but I am more excited about Red Mage than Samurai. It speaks to me as a player and the type of jobs that I like to play. So, again, apologies, Samurai fans. Super excited for you, but I think I'm going to be leveling up my tanks and healers before I have to worry about switching to any of my DPS. Okay, so that brings me to number 1. The world map. I talked about how my excitement was in a video I posted earlier just about the world map, using kind of the lore book as a, kind of a reference point for these new areas, but I am so excited to see this world expand. Reason is I've been playing and following this game since it was announced at E3 in 2009. That's a long time, and we've only seen just the map of Eorzea for that longest time. So for this, it's so new and it's so exciting, and the world, even what they're still not even showing us everything. By far the most interesting pieces that I gathered from the Stormblood announcement, and it has me really, really excited to go explore these new areas. So like I mentioned, like with Omega, with the Alliance raid, with everything that is changing, the world is expanding. So there's a lot more ways and areas where they can put this. Not saying that the Return to Ivalice raid is gonna, not be on the Eorzean map, but it doesn't have to be. It can easily belong somewhere else. Looking at when they announced this, I'm looking at the original map and going like, well, where are they going to fit this in? It's like, is it on an island somewhere or something similar like that? Or that's just for me, that's the thing that I am most excited about out of all the Stormblood announcements that they have said. And again, that list is incredibly long. If we need to do a video going over all the contents, I think that makes more sense once we know more. As we move forward towards Stormblood, there's going to be even more announcements, clarifying and even showing off all of what they've discussed being a part of that expansion. So there's going to be a lot to see, do, and talk about over the coming months. And so kind of my final thought, it's kind of like a bonus. The thing I'm probably most intrigued about, I guess system-wise, is they talk about having us liberate Doma and Almingo. How is that going to work? How's it going to play out? There, you know, if we look at Final Fantasy XI as some examples, you have the conquest and the campaign system that they introduced in those, and I don't expect those to be anyway ported over here, but I'm hopeful that these liberation type of events really bring the community together. I don't know if it's, you know, like, is it solely story based, or is there a mechanic, is there a system, is there a content that we're going to be taking part in to help liberate these two cities, you know? And then obviously if it's only just story based, then, you know, I don't know how that's going to play out, but you know, it's not in my top 5, but it's probably the thing I'm most interested in learning about more after all that. So I just wanted to include that as a bonus. So what are you most excited about with Stormblood? Let me know in the comments below and let's have that conversation. Is it samurai? Is it red mage? Is it areas? Is it raids? Is it the dungeons that they've kind of teased and showed off? Is it just the new primals that we're going to fight? Anyway, my name's Brian. This is Work to Game. I hope you had a fantastic weekend learning about Stormblood. I know I sure did. But in the meantime, I hope to see you in my next video. And until then, I hope you have a fantastic day. Hey, it's me. Thanks so much for watching this video. You should click here to subscribe and here to maybe check out some more of our videos. So again, thanks for watching. We hope you like this video. We hope you subscribe and join our community. Let us know in the comments below what you think. And we'll see you next time. Bye.